aspect of dam, ram, shells bursting, there's such sound that your ears start ringing. You can't breathe at times. Do you know that most people break up not when everything is going up? They start breaking in the uncertainty and silence and suspense. And when is the attack going to come? Both countries had gone nuclear. So we thought, अब तो यार लड़ाई कैसे हो सकता है? It is not sensible to fight. And that fear comes first, the bullet comes next.
Hi, I am Padmini and you are watching Talk Talk. Well, right now at this very moment I'm absolutely eager, a bit nervous and filled with gratitude as I am about to meet someone who, for me, is the hero of my nation. Every time I watch him on TV, on talk shows, on YouTube, a shiver runs down my spine and my heart is filled with patriotism. He was at war front in 1971. In 1985, he was in Punjab at the height of militancy. In 1987, he was in Kaksar, Kargil, and in 2000, he was in Jammu and Kashmir. I think you must have guessed already who I am talking about. So, gear up, as I do too, to bring you all Major General G.D.Bakshi.
As promised, right here, right now, Major General G.D.Bakshi, sir. Sir, thank you so much. I have to say, I am a fangirl. मैं आपकी हमेशा से fan रही हूँ. Sitting here in front of you in your presence and getting your interview for my show is an absolute dream come true for me. Thank you so much for letting me do this.
God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I have done a lot of interviews on parenting before this because I think it is really crucial for us to bring up our next generation the right way. Because after all, the children of today are going to be the future of tomorrow. So when I heard that you were coming to Hong Kong, I thought who else could be better to teach us and give us lessons on how to discipline our kids to bring them up the right way. So shall we begin, sir?
Please.
You've been on several battlefields and you have the experience of it. I imagine a battlefield to be really quick, things are happening really fast, you're taking quick decisions and they are being followed then and there, snap, snap, snap. Now in such a scenario, what is the role of patience? Do you need patience there?
Good question. Very few people know that there are two aspects of the battlefield. One is an aspect of dam, ram, shells bursting, there's such sound that your ears start ringing. You can't breathe at times. So that's one aspect of the battlefield. You know what is the second aspect of the battlefield? Total silence. You're waiting at night. The enemy attack is about to come. All you can hear is kahin dur se, some insect, jhingar, cricket, tick, 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 or jhinga, wo baj raha hai. There's some. Suddenly there is either a wolf or something baying to the moon. There's a sudden silence. And you're just waiting, tuck, tuck, tuck. Do you know that most people break up not when everything is going up. They start breaking in the uncertainty and silence and suspense. And when is the attack going to come? So you have to, like you said, not only that is where your spirit is tested, your courage is tested. Long periods of waiting. And they say that they make people do things. For example, in the army we have drill. On the left, number. 1 tick, 2 tick, 3 tick, 4 tick, 5 tick, 6 tick, 7 tick. Otherwise, you on the battlefield you feel lonely. You can't see the next man. He's in the next trench. He's in the next bunker. So we have a drill. Number 1 bunker tick, 2 tick, 3 tick, 4 tick, 5 tick. So we all know we are still there together. We are still holding on. You are doing something, so you're not just waiting for things to happen. Passivity is very, very dangerous. And therefore, we never like to put our troops in passive situation. You act. You make the enemy react. Why should you be waiting for an attack? You go out and attack him. You make him nervous. You make him wait, So be proactive in life, and when you have to deal with these things, learn patience. Then things like meditation help. Something to soothe, something to calm your nerves, something to pray. And I find meditation is a great tool. It's a psychosomatic tool to be able to deal with stress of this time. You are waiting, आपने कोई venture launch किया है, ये वो, and now you are waiting, what will be the outcome? The waiting period sorts out a lot of people. Not the actual action, because there is so much to do that you don't have time to worry. But when you are waiting and gnawing with your fears, with your apprehensions, that is the
Tough
time
part.
you need the tough part, when you need to have balance, counterpoise, and a basic calm, stability of the autonomic nervous system. And even when you do meditation, you find that they do a test, they'll suddenly let a cracker off, and then they'll measure your EEG and see how soon you come back to normal. So you find that it is the guys who are battle experienced who can quickly come back to normal. It's not that he will not register. He will register the explosion, but the other guy will take a long time, heart will start beating, blood pressure will go up, and it will take time to come to
back to
normal.
normal.
But here, with a battle experienced guy, with a guy who's got, let us say, the psychosomatic tools of meditation, you can settle down much faster, come back to normal much faster. That is a requirement in life. I would advise people to meditate,
Even
to
kids.
learn the art of meditation, the technique of meditation, and that will take you a very long way in life in resting your autonomic nervous system.
Absolutely. Is it taught in the military school in the?
Not as part of your official syllabus, but in a number of military establishments, we are teaching the technique of transcendental meditation, especially to improve firing standards.
Wow, really?
Because it improves. It is tested empirical fact that meditation improves body-mind coordination. It improves creativity, it improves attention, it gives you great amount of calmness, stability, and that includes, psychomotor skills. It improves them. It improves psychomotor skills, it improves creativity scores. So we are teaching, and it also makes you calm.
Yeah.
They have tested people who have done meditation. So it's not just a matter of belief or faith.
Yeah.
It is a matter of
Proven.
proven laboratory experiments that tell you that meditation improves psychomotor, abilities, psychomotor coordination. ठीक है? It improves your reaction to stress response, autonomic stability of the nervous system, becomes much greater, and creativity scores goes up, concentration goes up, ability to focus on a task goes up, ability to multitask goes up with meditation. These are the benefits, recorded benefits of meditation. Oxygen consumption reduces, so that you need less oxygen. Your breathing becomes slower, and you find the blood lactate concentration, which what makes you tired, which gives you stress, that reduces. They actually measure your blood lactate percentage before and after meditation, and you find your blood lactate has come down. So these are the things which help you to counter all that you are saying.
And develop patience.
And
Sir,
develop
military discipline, is a distinct feature of any military personnel. We all know that. Are there any, along with meditation, are there any other exercises that you can share with us that are being taught in the military school that we can apply here and, make sure that our kids do at least a basic few?
Firstly, I'd like to address the issue of discipline.
Yeah.
There are two types of discipline. One is an enforced discipline, which is the barrack room military discipline. Now, Saabdhan means just Saabdhan, wait, Shram, Bhai, say, te, chal, and you just start. So you implicit obedience to orders. That is Pavlovian response, to orders. That means the moment you hear a bell, you just dive, And the fact of the matter is that that is necessary. It was almost designed to make you a robot, because if you are passing through a lot of shelling, mortar, this thing, you just obey orders. You just listen to orders and you obey orders, and you don't reason, question, you don't waste time doing all that. So that's called enforced discipline. But more than enforced discipline, we in the armed forces value discipline that is intrinsic. It comes from within. Whether somebody is watching me or not, and Ustad, my sergeant major is on top of my head or not there, I am disciplined because this task has to be done. And that comes from motivation. I am doing it for the country, my regiment, for a higher cause. We have to win, therefore I have to do this. Therefore I must climb this mountain. Therefore I must suffer this cold. Therefore I must bear the privation. So that is the discipline that comes from within, from motivation, is a far higher discipline. One is the discipline that you are being watched and the ustad will punish you. But what happens when the ustad is not there? In the battlefield, he won't be there. You are on your own. So what we find is that sometimes if you overdo the barrack room discipline, you may get a very disciplined forge in the drill square, in the academy. The moment these boys go out, they are so repressed that they say, "Yeah, let me now, have a binge." So that's not the discipline we want. We want the discipline that comes from within. You should have that feeling. I'm an officer. I'm an officer cadet. I can't misbehave on the road.
Oh my
and I can't do this. You see?
That's a very important lesson
That's
I learned
very,
today.
very
So
important lesson.
we
That's
have to
what
have a
that
balance.
comes
We
from.
can't be
Yeah.
very strict with kids because you don't want them to get out.
I don't want a discipline which is enforced.
Forceful,
Because
yeah.
mama will beat you. Because if mama is not there, then what happens to that kid? That kid has to be prepared for a discipline which comes from within. I am a Bakshi. I don't do this.
How do we do that, sir?
That is called motivation. I am a Bakshi. I don't do this. Bakshis don't tell lies. The child is told, you are a Bakshi. You are not scared. You should not be scared. So I mean,
And there are many ways, of course. Yeah, there.
Can sort of do that. But you have to give. I'm not in agreement with a discipline that is enforced by fear. But a discipline that comes from understanding, this is right, this is wrong, this is not done.
By reasoning, maybe.
By reasoning, by rationality, by conviction. By conviction. Telling lies is wrong.
My God, I'm one of those rare moments when I'm speechless. I'm going to take this lesson and personally I'm going to apply it. I'll try to apply it. I completely agree with what you said and I don't know why I never thought of it before. So there are many differences that we see in the generation that I belong to and the generation that we're going to talk about. One of the major differences is that I think as children we were really ignorant and ignorance was a bliss. Now this generation is born with iPads in their hand. They have too much information. We experienced everything by experiencing it. I mean, we experienced and learned things. Cycle ऐसे चलाएंगे तो ऐसे गिरेंगे तो ऐसे लगेगी. We had bruised knees. Now these kids, when they go outdoors, they have sanitizers in their hands. We have in Hong Kong, across Hong Kong, most parts, we have beautiful cycling tracks. So if you ever see young kids, even adults, you will see them riding bicycles with helmet on, with knee pads on. I mean, nothing against it. It's perfect. It's ideal. But I remember you were talking about cultivating courage and grit in kids. So I think that this generation is way too guarded, sir. It lives in a very protected, very sheltered environment. Now, of course, there are personalities. That some kids are born courageous, they're born brave. They'll find their ways out to take risks, even if their mummy is really a helicopter parent. But then there are some kids who are not born with courage. So is this quality something which we can cultivate and develop, or is it something you're born with and if you don't have it, you don't have it?
Courage is required across the board. By every human being needs courage, and courage is of two kinds: physical courage, moral courage. The choosing the harder right instead of the easier wrong. So courage is something you said, you are born with. Some kids by nature are courageous. It's possibly genetic influence.
Yeah.
The second comes the influence of the environment. You're born up in a martial family where brothers are boxing and the girls are into karate, and so you imbibe courage from there. Because then it's a value system. But the fact is that if you don't start with this thing, courage is also learnt. Courage is also learnt as a way of habit. It's like cultivating a habit.
Yeah.
There is stimulus, there is response. Flight, fight. Do you flee when there is a dangerous situation, or do you stand up and fight? So, over a period of time, courage can be ingrained. In my house, we were living in an old British style colonial bungalow. There were trees and trees and trees, and in one of them was a huge banyan tree just next to our bungalow. And the servants and all that, they told me, "Bhoot rehta hai," And actually I used to get scared. Massive tree at night. So when I was studying for my exams, I wanted to go out for fresh air, and suddenly in the night I felt scared of this tree, that tree. So then I said one fine day, this is too much, So I At night when I was studying, 2 o'clock at night I went out. Then why am I scared of this tree? I climbed that tree and I sat in the tree for good hour. And nothing happened. And nothing happened. So that was the end of that. You face your fears. We all have fears.
But was there somebody
Face
to
your fears.
encourage you to do that, like your mommy, your daddy, or was it just you? I mean,
You see, a lot of the time, it's your parents who are role models and who encourage you to do this. And I always tell the story of Bhaga Jatin. Bhaga Jatin was a Bengali revolutionary who, in this freedom struggle, he had taken up arms against the British and ultimately he was hanged. But this man, he was so brave that he is called Bhaga Jatin because he had fought a tiger with his bare hands and killed him. He was such a strong, tough, this thing, kind of a boy. But when he was a small child, he lost his father. Now, a child who has lost his father suddenly feels unprotected and this and that. But he had a terrific mother. She was almost 6 feet tall. So one fine day, what happened was, how courage is taught. One fine day, what happened was, suddenly the mom heard her son crying, "Mama, Mama, Mama," So she came out of the house and she saw that young Bhaga Jatin was running for all his life, crying, and there was a dog chasing him. Ow, 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 and all that. So from there, the mother saw that scene. She just told Bhaga, "Jatin, stand wherever you are. Wahin khada ho ja." So he was scared of his mom because she would whack him, a big mom. So he just stood where he was. He said, "Turn around and face that dog. Turn around. He said, so he turned around and he faced that dog and he looked into the dog. Nature, the thing is, if you are taller than the other animal will also hesitate before attacking you. So the dog suddenly stopped. And then he was, looking very uncertain, and then he said, "Throw a bloody stone at him." So he picked up a stone and of course that dog ran. So he had learnt his lesson.
wow.
You see, the dog was attacking fear. If you have fear, you will invite attack. You are going into a, let us say, very shady neighborhood, and you say, "My God, I'm not dressed for this neighborhood. I don't know, I hope," you will be inviting, you will be so scared that you will invite attack. And you see, in the army, one of my second lieutenants had joined. He was a tall boy, 6 foot, handsome, my God, we thought he would be a film actor or something. And this young man joined the unit in Kargil. The fighting was going on and one dead body had just come. It had a 6-inch hole at the base of the neck. It had been shot by a Pakistani air defense gun. The blood was all over that white sheet and all that. There's another guy who was wounded there, and the smell of blood is quite this thing. So this poor chap, he said, "What the hell is happening, So he turned to an old JCO, junior commissioned officer of ours, He said, "Saab, this is a terrible place. बताओ यहाँ पे जिंदा रहने का नुस्खा क्या है? How to go back alive from this bloody place? Everybody seems to be dying and getting shot up." So the old JCO, very experienced, white hair, he looked at him up and down, found a tall boy. So he said, "Saab, आप volleyball खेलते हैं? Do you play volleyball?" He said, "हाँ, but what has that got to do with this? I'm talking of death and dying and आप volleyball की बात कर रहे हैं." So he said that, "साहब आपको पता है वॉलीबॉल में खड्डा क्या होता है? Have you played volleyball?" Well, what is khadda in volleyball? You are playing that game and you are at match point. You are at game point. One service and it will decide whether who will win, who will lose. So you have to do that service. And the whole team tells you, "Don't you dare, make sure we win," and all that, So you are also a little nervous. So what do? He says, "साहब आप बॉल हाथ में लो और आप opposing team के आँख में देखो." The guy who's looking most scared and nervous, serve to him, he'll drop it. He's khadda. वहाँ डर है, वहाँ खड्डा है. And if it goes there, he will drop it. So he serves there and he wins. He says that is the lesson. So in the battlefield, the bullet comes towards where there is fear. Even the bravest of people at times, just before he is about to get it, will get that fear. And that fear comes first, the bullet comes next. So the armor of God is being without fear. If you see all Hindu Devi Devtas, beta, एक हाथ ऐसे होता है. One hand is raised like this. You know what that means? It means Abhay Dan Mudra. I free you from fear. Abhay Dan, I make you unafraid. And a person who's unafraid is a winner all through. He is Sikandar. He will never lose in life because he's lost his fear. Must understand this. Fear is not only meant, or courage is not only meant for the soldier. Courage is equally meant for everyone in whatever walk of life or profession he is. You started a new business. You started a startup. You took loans. You put your wife's jewelry on girvi. You pawned it to raise money to run your business, and all of a sudden the fear takes hold of you. Oh my God, what if my business fails? How will I pay back the loans? What will I tell my mom and dad? I put my wife's jewelry on the line and my house is girvi. What will happen? You are thinking so much of failure that you are inviting failure. This is called the law of reversed effects. And what is the law of reversed effects? Okay. Think of the time when you learned to cycle. Your elder brother or your elder sister hired a small cycle. खासकर downtown India, small town India, वो छोटा cycle होता था. So that if you fall, you don't hurt yourself too badly. So he took you or she took you to an open maidan, open field. And there she held you from the back and said, pedal, 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 and you started pedaling furiously, and then suddenly he or she left you and said, pedal, pedal, keep pedaling, don't stop. And you were wobbling like this, and then you learned balance slightly and you started, not falling, And suddenly in the middle of that khali field, you saw a chota sa patthar. And kya ho gaya? Patthar. Are you can always go around it, but patthar, you will hit that patthar. And hard you will fall. This is called the law of reversed effects, because fear is a very strong emotion. It has got an evolutionary reason. It keeps you alive. You can't, if there's a snake, you can't, go and climb onto that snake. You have to get away from the snake. So that is, fear is evolutionary protection put into your system to make you take evasive action from these kind of things. But the fact of the matter is that you have to learn fear over a time. Too much of fear becomes a shackle. It holds you back in life. You start an exam, you're preparing for an exam, and you get overcome with the fear. Oh my God, what if I fail? What face will I show to mom and dad? What will my teacher say? My friends, they'll snigger.
Society.
So you are focusing so hard on failure that you are bound to fail. So that's why we say, think positive. Why don't you start with the thinking, I will be in the merit list, all India merit list, or all Hong Kong merit list, or whatever you have here. So if you think positive, you aim for the stars, you'll reach the treetops. But
And
if you
it
are
is something
thinking
we
of
can
failure, if you're thinking of focusing so hard on failure, you will invite
bound to
failure.
fail.
And therefore, a chap who has let go of fear, you suddenly find he expands. You see, there are two sets of emotions. Negative emotions, they make you contract, grow smaller than you are. You see a guy who's scared. He may be 6 feet tall, but if he's scared, he's going like this. But this guy may be 5 feet nothing, but he is a dada. And you find he's got his buttons open till his bloody belly button, and he's walking with a swagger.
Yeah.
He expands. Courage makes you expand. Fear makes you contract. Greed makes you contract. I have money, there's a beggar. I'm eating something nice and there's a little beggar child looking at me. So the moment you give it to him, you will find you become bigger than you are. These are expansive emotions. They make you transcend your narrow self. So we must go for transcendence even in emotions. From fear to courage.
And
From
it can be
greed
cultivated.
to generosity, and it can be taught. If you're not born with it, that doesn't mean that's the end of it. Nurture and nature. In this debate, the focus now is much more on nurture and not nature. Even your genes, you may have genes, but they are switched on and off because of nurture.
Another thing which is very contradictory in these two generations is we got everything in limitations, be it food, be it travel trips, be it clothes. I still remember, no matter what the financial background of the parent was, we wouldn't get more than 3 or maximum 4 clothes a year. Either for birthday, one would be for Diwali, Christmas for some. If at all there is a wedding or a function in the family, that's it. But today, this generation, on contrary, gets everything in abundance. Be it stationery, be it food, be it clothes, they are spoiled for choice. Now, in such a scenario, the concern is, how do we get kids to value what they have? How do we teach them the responsibilities that come with the privileges that they have?
I think it's a very important question, and I'll take it a little further. I went around, met the human resource development ministers in Delhi, and I asked them, show me one word in your school syllabus that deals with values. Where do you teach values? We presume that the home will teach values, that the parents will teach values, and the school said, we are not into teaching values because we are secular. Does being secular mean you have no values? You see, that is the entire problem. The school thinks that the parents will teach the values. The parents think it's the school job because, previously we used to have joint families. There used to be Nana, Nani, Dada, Dadi
Absolutely.
in the family, and they were the instruments of transmitting values. It is the Dadi who would read out the Ramayana or the Mahabharata or tell the stories of Rama and Krishna to the grandchildren and
Absolutely
impart
true.
values, Now we are single nuclear families.
Small families, yeah.
And mom and dad are both working. So they go in the morning, put the kids in the school bus, come back, flop down in front of the television screen, the idiot box, or today you don't have to go to the idiot box, you just have to pick
Even
up
worse.
your mobile and that's what it is. Intra-family communication is gone. So where are we teaching values? I think there is a basic need to impart values across the board to our children, and it has to be as a structured program from the school. And in addition to it, what we are doing as a retired veteran, as a retired soldier, it's my payback time to society. So I go around talking to schools and to college children on what we call basic military ethics and values. There are 4 values that we stress. Country as a value, the highest value. As far as the armed forces are concerned, we say the country comes first, always and every time. Courage as the second value. Courage as a way of life. Courage and sacrifice, right? Then this has to be balanced by compassion. Compassion for those, you may have everything in life. There are lots of children who don't get a square meal. Are you thinking about them? What are you doing about them? I found in Hong Kong, surgeon, and the way they are reaching out to kids in India, to village children, giving them books, giving them, wherewithal for getting an education, educate a child. There is a program for that. And just yesterday, they launched a program to, the soldiers who get martyred. One of the last, I have held the hands of so many boys while they were dying, they were breaking. His last concerns invariably were, who'll marry my daughter? What will happen to her? Who'll educate my kids? Right? So, if we can be compassionate, that is a very great value to have. India has the Lord Buddha as exemplars of compassion. We have Mother Teresa as an exemplar of compassion. Yesterday we saw a local Mother Teresa, and Mrs. Shroff, and this is a value we must teach. And the one value that I insist on is truth. If you speak the truth, everything else falls into place. There will be no corruption if you are truthful, because all corruption starts with a lie, with fudging facts, with fudging accounts, with how much you spent, how much you paid, It all starts with lies. So if you don't tell lies, then that's the end of it. So these values, you are very right, is something that we are not imparting to our kids. There is no value education. In my time, there was a subject called moral science.
Yeah.
Even that has been taken away.
Oh, really? We had it too.
Even that is not there. So, therefore, you have to reintroduce values in a very systematic way. And values are not taught. Values are caught. If I have a cold, you will catch a cold. And if I have values, it's not do as I say, do as I do. The teachers are role models, the parents are role models. The parents can't impart values. They don't smoke and he smokes. Well, that's it. Your message is not going home. So values are something that we have to focus on very majorly. And I think in talking of values, you've raised a very serious concern.
Absolutely. So the last question, I have to ask you this. Any lessons for our young hearts from the Kargil war?
You see, the Kargil war, I think one of the first lessons that come is out of the box thinking. One of the very important lessons to come is out of the box thinking. We suddenly got a situation created for us. Both countries had gone nuclear. So we thought, ab to yaar ladai kaise ho sakta hai? It is not sensible to fight, because if suddenly the nuclear bomb goes up, both civilizations will get destroyed. So Vajpayee ji went that bus journey, he went there to Lahore to talk peace with Pakistan. And unfortunately that was the time when Pervez Musharraf was planning the attack. So we were suddenly surprised. Now we were presented with a very, very unusual situation. Here are two countries which have got nuclear, and here is Pakistan, which has spent in thousands of soldiers into 3,000, 5,000 soldiers into the Kargil sector and occupied our heights, is shelling our road, bordering our road. So what do? Now the one option was to hit back, strike at some other area. The moment we would have struck at some other area, within 7 to 10 days, the world would have put pressure to create a ceasefire. So we did a very out-of-the-box thing. We said we will attack, but in our own, we'll take every bit of our own territory back. Every bit of our own territory, we will take it back. So now nobody can interfere. He's coming to my area and I'm just pushing him back. So whether it takes me 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, it took almost 3 months. Because in those mountains, it is not easy to launch attacks. And if somebody is sat in a mountain on the height, he just has to throw stones at you. Roll down stones and you will not be able to climb. So we needed 3 months. So we said if we counterattack, we may just get 7-10 days. And we may not be able to make such gains in 7-10 days because the enemy is now alert. We will not have surprise. So out of the box solution was, okay, fine, we will fight. We will use the Air Force. We will deploy the Navy. But we will fight only in the area where he is coming, the area of the intrusion. It was an out of the box solution. So my advice to people is, in life, whichever field you are in, think out of the box. Don't be confined to a rut. Don't be, confined to reflex actions. कि वो knee पे tap किया and your knee goes out like. Then you will be predictable. Your competition will always, if you are in business, be able to beat you. But if you think out of the box, you come up with innovative, creative solutions, then you are able to turn tables, surprise the other side. And that's what we did. And Pakistan had to end up losing a very sorry figure in that battle. Every inch of our territory we took back. And the world was on our side. The world was on our side. Out of the box solutions. That's my advice to people.
This is brilliant, sir. Once again, thank you so much for taking out time, and thank you so much. You've given me a lifetime of a memory, honestly.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
God bless you.
Thanks a lot.
God bless you. All the best.
Thank you. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.